This is an Arcana guide for New World. I'm going to show you how to level Arcana, the best ways to do it, cheapest ways to do it, how it works in general. Let's get through some of this stuff. So let's start off with the players who want to gather all the mats and things and how you're going to do that. And then we're going to move on to what if you want to buy all the mats, what are some of the best ways to do that. So the first thing you need to know before you even get started, in case you're really new, if you're on a fresh start server, is you can check a settlement, click a settlement, and you can see over here if you scroll down what level all the things are at. So the higher you go in Arcana, the higher level you'll need the Arcane repository to be in order to craft things there. So make sure you're using the correct tier of Arcane repository for whatever it is you're trying to make. Okay, with that out of the way, the next thing that you need to know is if you are going to be gathering these mats yourself, you just want to play like Iron Man where you don't use a trading post. I know there's a decent chunk you out there, okay? The biggest thing is you're going to be farming herbs to get Hyssop, and then you're going to be picking up any, like, potion reagent that you see anywhere ever, basically. And we'll talk about some of the ways to optimize. There's Bull Rush Cob and things, too, that matter. But generally, that's how it plays as someone who doesn't want to use the auction house. But so really quick, let me pop up this map. Now, this is newworld-map.com. I'll link this in the description of this video. This is a resource map that will show you where any resource is if you type it in over here and select it. So herbs, for example, in order to get Hyssop, you can find it at the starting zone in Everfall. You can find it over here in Monarchs. You can find it over here at the starting zone of Windsward. You can find it a lot of places. And then once you get level 60, you can go to Ebonscale Reach and go here, and that's a pretty good place to farm Hyssop all day. And then there's places and other places too. You can use this map. The same thing for the other stuff. You could look up river crests and whatever else you want to look up on this resource map in order to gather whatever you need. All right, so this is inside of the Arcane repository. So first thing you need to know about these weapons, do not make these. Like, these are just not economical at all. Like, unless you're literally gathering things yourself and you know you're never going to level another profession other than this one, then maybe. But otherwise, getting lumber and leather and all these things is just absolutely not worth it. You'd better off selling those things in the trading post and buying other Arcana mats. Anyway, all right, so what you'll mainly be doing if you're going to gather them all yourself is you're going to be making alcahests and then making these potions. As soon as you get to level 1, then you're going to just start making the common ones because it's like 4 times the XP for only twice the ingredients or less than twice the ingredients. And you'll be able to, in the beginning, probably the common health potion could be your best bet because the Bull Rush Cob, you can kind of get this at any body of water. You can get it, I think, around there. I know you can get it at this little lake right here and stuff. There's, I think it was called reeds, and you pick them up, they drop Bull Rush Cob, and you can just farm it, like, super fast. Like, you can get a ton of it. And then you'll do that till level 50. I would not recommend these. Don't use any of your reagents until you at least hit level 50. Because these are wasteful. They'll give only slightly more than the other ones, but they'll also use oil, or these ones will use 2 of these ingredients and a water, but it's still like what I'd rather just save these till I hit level 3 and start getting way more XP using the same things. Also, you need to know about this. So, like, once you start getting through these, there's tier 3 reagent, tier 4, you need tier 4 right here, you need water, spirit, and all. What does all this mean? So, like, you can click one of these, you can click this box, it'll show you all the available ones. And when you mouse over one of these, you'll see it tells you the ingredient types. And this one, for example, is a protective reagent only. Whereas this is an earth reagent and a protective reagent and a tier 3 earth and a tier 3 protective. And you basically just need whatever item to fill the slot. So in this case, I need a tier 3 protective. So all of these are alchemy or Arcana ingredients that have that condition of they are a tier 3 protective reagent. So these are all the ones I can use. Whereas something like just air. I just need air. I don't need it to be a tier 1, tier 2. It just needs to be any air. I could use a tier 2 twist cap. I could use sun creeper. Or I could even use an air quintessence, which would be a terrible idea. But you can just use anything that has that marker of an air reagent, or fire, or water, or whatever. So keep that in mind when doing this in order to, maximize what you're using. Ideally, protective reagents, you want to keep in mind, like, if you want to use water, you don't want to also use a water tier 3 then, because you'll use all your water too fast again. So it's about, min-maxing, not wasting the ingredients that you're going to be using for something else. But anyway, so that's how you get all those. So that's what I said, as a Iron Man player, basically, you'll just gather everything you see and then come in here and just put together whatever potions you can. But if you're going to be farming it, like, directly, Hyssop's going to be your best bet. But even later on, you'll still need magical, air, spirit, whatever, all this stuff that's a pain in the butt to go get. Specifically the second dude. Medicinal, you get Bull Rush Cob, and that'd be fine. But the other one, like Earth and Spirit, or Life and Spirit, or whatever, you're going to have to go farm that yourself with something if you're not going to buy it. But generally, if you're going to buy it, it's going to be a lot easier. Anyway, so yeah, obviously you're going to do strong, and then you're going to do powerful, it's whatever. And then once you get to infused, that's where suddenly things change. So like strong and powerful, you probably are better off going down here and doing these ones in the weapon coatings or the resistance consumables. Probably the resistance consumables. But it changes once you hit tier 5, because once you hit tier 5, the protective and defensive potions you make, they need these tier 5 critters, and these things nowadays are worth, at least when I made this video, were worth like anywhere from 15 to 50 gold each, depending on the day and the server and all these things, which then suddenly makes it not worth it. Then suddenly it's better to just go ahead and use infused alkahest, which you can usually get for like 4 to 10 gold a piece. And then you use whatever these ingredients, and it'll be way cheaper if you're going to buy it. But if you're going to farm it yourself, I mean, you're just farming things and you slap things together. However, Arcana is kind of a mess when you're farming it yourself. There's so many items. You just get everything you see, you just gather, and then you come back and slap potions together till you level 200. But anyway, with that out of the way, let's move to what if you're going to buy things. Well, if you're going to buy things, like I was just saying, it's probably going to be infused at the end, unless you're going to put buy orders for the powerful alkahest or something. But when you're going levels 50 through 150, these things are generally better if you're going to buy them. You'll probably be able to get a tier 4 like Animal Eye pretty cheap. The other things, like for example, this potion right here, on a good day I pay 0.5, like 0.7 or something with buy orders, however. So maybe I'm paying like 2 gold per potion, getting 1600 Arcana XP or something. Whereas if I want to do the powerful one, it's going to be a similar price, assuming I buy order the alkahest for cheap. But if I actually just buy it directly, it's always more expensive most of the time. Let's go take a look at the trading post, though. Also, I got the run bug. Check it out. I'm zooming. All right, so obviously, this is the trading post. Okay, well, you're going to go to this tab right here, potion reagents. This is the easiest way to look through here. You do not want to go one by one searching names. That is awful. So, for example, offensive. We need to remember for that one potion, we need a tier 4 offensive. What I'll do is I'll click offensive. I'll just scroll till I find what the cheapest tier 4 is. And this is assuming we're not doing buy orders, which I'll talk about buy orders in a second. So I'm going to go through here, and then, oh, here we go, blue. It's blue for tier 4, green for tier 3, and purple for tier 5. So pretty easy to spot. And okay, 0.5 each for Animal Eyes. So this would be like, all right, I got a good base for my potion now. I'll just buy up Animal Eyes for 0.5, and then I'll fill in whatever else I need. So what the rough part is for leveling this is to either want to write it down, or in my case, because I'm lazy, which ends up making it backfires. It takes more work, but somehow it feels better being lazy, is I will just cancel. I'll go run all the way back. I'll check what other ones I'll need. So I'll look at one and it'll be like, okay, I need fire and whatever. And then I'll come back and do this. Or I could even go to the potions, go to the tinctures, and then go to the, what is it? I just needed like a corruption tinker and then like a tier 4 corruption tincture or something. And then, okay, this is protective. So you could go through like here to stay internal with it. So blight, and I go tier 4. It's also protective, so not tinctures then. So go to coatings, and then go to pick one of them, and then tier 4. All right, here's a tier 4 offense. So this is what the Animal Eye was for. This one uses water and death. All right, and then this one uses life and death. And I can kind of like, I can stay here and not have to run back and forth if I want to. So let's say I was going to like try this one. All right, life and death reagents and tier 4 offensive. Okay, well, I can go back to here. I can go to the potion reagents, offensive, and then I could try to find whichever ones will work for this. So I can just click one, and then I can mouse over it and see, like, this was a death one. Okay, void pictures are 0.3 right now. Not really. There's not very many for sale, but you know, I could do something like that. So that's kind of how to search through these things like that. Try to figure it out without having to run back and forth and type things in and look things up. You can just mouse over and see. You can try different ones and then be like, all right, this one is... None of them exist right now on this trading post, but this one's a fire reagent. Or you can even go old school and go life moat, but they're usually more expensive. Like, yeah, like 1.2 right now at the moment of this video. Though generally, you'll generally get things cheaper by buying the wacky one-off things and blood spore bloom, blight root stem, etc. Generally, the most commonly cheap ones are like the generics, which would be the blight root stem. Let's see, blight root stem, shock bulb stem, and then there's soul sprout stem, and then there's, because these come from like the most generic plants. You'll see these ones, and they also give these blight root stem, shock bulb. I already saw those, and then we get down here, and there's earth spine, river crest. That'd be earth and water, and then medicinal has life bloom stem, which is life, but you can also use some of these other ones. Plate cap. Plate cap's actually fire, not life, but you might find some in the medicinal one. But as I said, generally, that's how you're going to search for these. But now buy orders is something you should know about. So, like, I could go here to the Void Cap pitcher, which is not the greatest item ever to buy. But, so get it for 0.3. Well, be sure to check buy orders. Like, you could just say, all right, I'm going to buy for 0.1. I will buy however many you want. I mean, I'm just going to throw a buy order for 10,000. I'm screwing around. I don't even care. And if that gets filled, then I can make my potions even cheaper and get leveled up for even cheaper. So you just got to find the potion you want. So, like, recapping here, say you want a coating, and then you're going to use, say you finally decide on this one. All right, I'm going to get the animal eyes or whatever else, and then I need a life and a death, and then I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to go for, say, the blight root stem, which is death, and then I'll place a buy order, and I'll say I'll buy at 0.15, I'll buy 10,000, and then hope that gets filled, and then I'll be like, okay, I forget, let me go back again, look again. I needed death, and life. So then I'm going to go back to potion reagents, medicinal. We go to, let's say life bloom, which is usually expensive as hell. So it's not realistic to use life bloom. But if I were, I'd be like, put a buy order, hope I get it. Or maybe I just buy if I'm in a hurry or if it's cheap enough, you know. And you just slowly slap things together, guys. Like, Arcana's a pain in the ass. Hey, look, I got 6. Arcana's a pain in the ass just because there's so many combinations. So it's really, the main thing I'm sharing with you here is the method. Like, there's a method of how to manage it cheaply and stuff and how to get it done. I mean, and there's also the element of you could sell some of these things back. Like, you could go to the tinctures. Corruption tincture would probably be your best bet for sell back because people would use it in invasions. Or you might use a coating for something, you know, for people who are using... who are doing the mutator dungeons and see what the mutation is for the week, and it's like, oh, this time they're gonna be needing a lot of anti-corruption tinctures or whatever. Or maybe you're making potions and the potions are terrible. No, you can't even sell them back hardly. You can try, but it's like pay 6, sell back for 0.5. I mean, if you feel like you might as well pay back. Me personally, with how much money I have, having over $1 million gold worth of stuff, if I'm gonna if I'm gonna type an auction slot to sell 100 potions for 40 gold, I'd rather throw the potions on the ground. But I'm obviously different than you. I'm in a different situation than you are. But anyway, that's pretty much everything, guys. I don't know what else to tell you. That's it. That's how you min-max it. That's how you get the cheapest ingredients possible. And if you were gonna gather, I already mentioned what you're gonna be going for gathering. There's no simple thing like cutting trees. It's just a disaster. You have to pick up everything you see and slap things together, or you have to buy things based on what the market shows to you. It varies so much day to day. Like, some days I go in there and Soul Sprout stem is worth 2 gold, and some days it's worth 0.2. I mean, like, it's just, you got to check day by day what you can afford. And if you're going to buy it, your best bet is to go do something else for money and then spend your money down into Arcana. But that's it, guys. That's my quick 2022 Arcana guide. I know it's changed a lot since launch. I want to make a quick updated, kind of summarized version with everything I know, kind of impart that to you if you needed help. And now you have a much better idea of how to level Arcana efficiently or cheaply, affordably in New World.